everybody's here, everybody's ready. We will call the May 26, 2023 Coffee County Board of Education call meeting to order. And Mr. Mobley, if you will give our invocation.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for loving us and blessing us, Lord. Thank you for a great year, Lord, with our students. We've been blessed beyond measure at the protection you provided over our students and all the great things that have been able to be accomplished in our buildings. Lord, we thank you for the board and their oversight for our schools. They have tough decisions to make, Lord, and we just thank you for their wisdom and their insight into the overall operations of the school. And thank you for all our teams, our leaders, our teachers in the building, Lord. I thank you for their efforts this year, Lord. And I know that you bless them and ask for continued blessings and just pray protection over our students during the summer and bring them back to us in the fall safely. In your name I pray. Amen.
All right. Mr. Jowers is not here today. He's under the weather, so we're going to get started without him. Got an agenda in front of you. Everybody's had a chance to look at. We can get a motion to adopt the agenda unless we've got any changes.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
All right. Well,
Lisa.
thank you, sir, and appreciate everybody being here this morning on a Friday morning and graduation tomorrow. So it's exciting times in Coffee County. At this time on the agenda, we have the FY24 budget adoption, and we have started working on the budget in February and working on all of our staffing for the coming year and working on the salaries and the changes that came down through the governor's office. And so at this time, we're prepared to ask the board to approve the budget for the coming school year. And Ms. Yawn, our finance director, could fill in any, Bradford, any details or answer any questions.
What we see here is our tentative budget for FY24 beginning July 1st, 2023. The first column is our general fund projections and broken down by your state, federal, and other sources and our local revenues for a total of $79,593,907. Below that is our estimated expenditures by the different categories in the school system. Estimated expenditures are at $79,593,907 for a balanced budget. We're estimating at this point that as of July 1st, we will have a balance of $26,905,000 to begin the school year. And I just wanted to recap what we're looking at in this general fund budget. TRS is at 19.98%, and that remains the same for FY24 as FY23. Salaries and benefits, there is a $2,000 increase in the certified salary schedule, a 3% increase in classified salary schedule, and then the state health insurance for certified employees will be $18,960 per year. That increased $635 per month, okay? Classified employees insurance will be a phase-in plan beginning January of 2024 at $1,195 per month. That's a $250 increase for them. With it coming next year, or FY25, it'll increase again $250, and in FY26, it will be at the rate of the certified employees. And also the 49% employees, they will be paid based on their state salary schedule. Okay, that is what is in that general fund column there. The next column you see is our special revenue, which includes our state, other state and federal funds, and then our SPLOS estimated expenditures and our debt service is the last column. Any questions or any concerns?
All right. Well, it's a good budget. It includes the increases that the governor placed into the state budget, and so employees will be receiving an increase in salary, and so we've got a balanced budget. So at this point, I recommend the board approve the budget.
And the budget, I mean, with the general fund is $79,590,000. But then we've also got 28,850 that are federal funds that have to be spent correctly. And then we got 7.8 million roughly in SPOS funds have to be spent correctly. So roughly, this school system is tasked with spending $116, $17 million next year in tax money, you know. And the point I'm getting at is, that's a tremendous amount of money. It takes that to run the school system. Coffee County is growing, its budget's a lot bigger than any budget. Every year it grows and grows and grows. There's a lot of things we're spending money on now we didn't spend on 10 years ago with technology, with security, with different things. And that's what it takes to run the school system. And the point I'm getting at is, that's a tremendous amount of money to make sure it's spent appropriately. And every year we get audited, we have a clean audit. We've had clean audits as far back as I can remember. And from a taxpayer standpoint, I know a lot of times they don't really pay attention to what goes on to this budget, how we get to this point, but they see the bottom line. But to me, from a taxpayer standpoint, the bottom line is, whether you agree with how much you get taxed or how taxes are, you know, property taxes, registered, whatever, it doesn't matter. Your money's taken away from you. All you can ask for is it's being spent appropriately. And to have the amount of money that we go through in this school system and to have it spent appropriately, to me, is a big thing. You know, if you're going to take money out of my check, I want to make sure it's spent the right way. And this money's been taken and it's been spent back when the kids at Coffee County. It's been spent appropriately. It's taken care of. Our audits are all clean. We don't have any issues. You look at the amount of categories up here that this money has to be spent in this category, but not that category. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes into this to keep all that right. And so I appreciate the job y'all do. And I think our taxpayers, if they really knew what went on to get to this point, would appreciate the job that this school system's doing and taking care of their tax money. You know, and that's all you can ask for. If your money's going to come out of your check, it's spent the right way. And I feel like Coffee County, it is being spent the right way and it's being accounted for. So I appreciate it, you know, as a taxpayer.
Thank you, Mr. Lott. And I do appreciate you bringing up the point about us being audited by the State Department of Audit. So they come in each year and they spend literally months here going through everything. And so we are audited by the State Department of Audits. It's a separate agency, and we've actually won the Excellence in Finance Award the last few years, each year. So our staff works hard to make sure we're being good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. So thank you. And also to that point, we are the largest, or maybe one of the largest. I think we go neck and neck with a couple other businesses in town, but one of the largest employers in the county with over 1,200 employees at different times of the year. So thank you.
Anything else? All right, we've got a budget in front of you. We've got a motion to approve the FY24 budget.
We accept the budget as presented.
I'll second.
Motion, second. All in favor?
All right, thank you. A lot of work went into that. I'm tell the staff, thank you, all the principals and all the other staff involved with getting that work done. Minutes. We noticed a problem with the dates on the minutes from our last meeting when we approved those minutes. So this is a cleanup to make sure that we have the dates correct on the minutes that were approved at our last meeting. So we thought we would bring this back in front of the board to make sure we had the correct dates on what was approved. So you see those on the screen, and scroll to the top. These are the April 27, 2023 minutes. I would ask the board to approve these.
Motion. Second. All in favor of approving the amended minutes?
All right, thank you. The FY24 Family Connection, or actually approval of 5-year strategic plan. We've once again been working on the strategic plan since Ms. Spade, you started working on this. When did you start? Earlier this year?
We started with GSBA in what, March?
Yes,
The whole
ma'am.
process of just doing everything in March.
Yes, ma'am. So it's been a big project, and we had community meetings. We had meetings with diverse groups of our staff. We had meetings with administration
The
and
board.
the board. You had started the process with y'all with the SWOT analysis that we conducted, and so there's been a lot of time and effort to develop this plan, and we really believe it's going to be a great plan and direction for the system over the next 5 years. So we're asking the board to approve the new strategic plan.
Discussion? If not, we need a motion to approve the new 5-year strategic plan. Second.
Second.
All right, motion second. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pate.
Great job. And I will add, it continues a lot of the work that we've been doing, but we also have some work in there around the areas of patriotism and citizenship and being good citizens. And so we've got a lot of good work to do over the next 5 years. FY24 Family Connection contract. This is the contract that we approve annually, a partnership with Family Connection through the state of Georgia, and so we're asking the board to approve this contract. And I will add that the Family Connection has been the driving force behind our Know Your Worth movement, and in the past couple of weeks, Ware County has asked to come aboard as part of the Know Your Worth Collaborative, and our Marnie Smith went over and met with a group of stakeholders in Ware County and told her story, and they want to join our efforts with Know Your Worth. And then I know April was contacted by Pierce County about a week ago, and they want to learn more about Know Your Worth and possibly join her collaborative with that. So Family Connections probably doing the best work they've ever done in Coffee County, so we're asking to approve their contract.
All right, we have a motion to approve the 2024 Family Connection contract.
I so moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Thank you. And then the next item is the 2023-24 Student Handbook. We have Assistant Superintendent Mr. Lee Mobley here to answer any questions that you may have.
Just briefly, I know we had spoken a couple of meetings ago. No major changes. We did change, and we updated the hospital homebound policy. We added some definitions that Mr. Cunningham's direction, added some definitions that we've had a few questions about, just on what suspension, expulsion, long-term, short-term, what that actually means. We added a few forbidden items that have kind of come on the scene, unfortunately, with THC and CBD items. That's forbidden. And then we made some revisions to our level 4 discipline. We broke that into some subcategories and defined lockdowns. And the rest of it was pretty solid, and we left as is. Any questions or concerns?
If not, we need a motion to approve our student handbook for next year. Jonathan, Mr. Lee, all in favor?
Great, thank you. And then I appreciate your efforts, Mr. Mobley. I know a lot of work goes into that, working with principals and getting feedback, so thank you.
Had a good team looking good.
Great. And number 9 is the indoor synthetic field for the new NJROTC facility. And at our last meeting, we had some questions about the proposal, and we went back and had the vendor clean that up, and it's As you'll see, some of the questions that you had, we've got those included in the proposal right there. I know there was a question about the soccer markings for the field, and that's spelled out explicitly in the proposal now.
All right. Any questions? If not, need a motion to approve the indoor synthetic field for the NJROTC building. Multi-purpose facility.
Excuse me, I move we accept the bid as presented.
Motion.
Did you say? Did you say?
Yeah, I'll second it, yeah.
Motion second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I'll move y'all to.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. This is going to be a real nice addition for our community. We'll have all sorts of groups using this facility. The one I'm probably as excited about as any is the band will have an opportunity to have a place to practice in March. And at times when it's so hot, they won't have to be out there in the hot sun and such as that. So it's going to be a real nice addition to the school system. So thank you. Not to mention the ROCC competitions that she's been traveling to Jacksonville or wherever to go to these large competitions. And she did host a large competition here, but they had them spread out in parking lots at the middle school and down on fields at the other areas of the school. And it was just a big hodgepodge all over the place on that campus. And now she'll be able to host those large events with people traveling here from all over and having to stay in our hotels and eat in our restaurants, and so it'll be a good economic addition to our community also.
So we've got one of the best NJROTCs around. We should be hosting
That's right.
competitions and stuff, so I'm glad to have that building.
Yes, sir.
Carry that forward.
All right, I do have a need for an executive session to discuss personnel, the employment of personnel for the school system, and then also to discuss real estate.
I believe.
Yes, sir.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, sir.
I just foresee this coming up with Mr. Mobley and April Thomason, and I just like to have a discussion by the board right now.
Yes, sir.
The handbook changed on the definitions that Mr. Mobley alluded to. There's been some change in the Georgia law several years ago, and expulsion is only going to be out of the school system for more than 10 days. If your placement within a school, within our school system is changed, that's not going to give you a right to a tribunal and taking up really a lot of time. A tribunal, you have 3 administrators that leave their school, sometimes 1 hour, sometimes 4 or 5 hours. And so just taking a child for behavior reasons of the student and leaving them within the school system. Might be a different school, alternative school, or the correct name is Coffee Education Academy, will not be kicking you out of the Coffee County school system, and there will not be a right to a tribunal.
Yes, sir. Thank you for pointing that out, counsel. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. All right, need a motion to enter executive session for personnel and real estate.
Yes, sir.
I move we exit to executive session.
Motion, second. All in favor? All right, we're in executive session.
We have a motion to exit executive session.
Good? Yeah. All right, get a motion to exit executive session.
I move we exit executive session.
A second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, personnel recommendations, Rob.
Yes, sir. I would ask the board to approve the personnel recommendations as presented.
I move we accept the personnel.
I abstain on 15.
with the exception of number 15, ways to obtain on. We have a second? Second, all in favor?
All right. Well, thank you, board. It's been a successful morning and got a lot of good business done. Thank you.
Y'all don't leave. Don't leave.